I'm super late on this discussion, but I wanted to see how things played out before making an official shitty biased take on what's going on with Reddit. But now we're gonna watch this video. I believe this guy's name is Moon. I don't want to say his name. Yeah, it is Moon. We're gonna watch Moon, and then we're gonna watch a couple of other things as to what happened after this video, because this video was made before there was an official solution. So let's do it.
We are witnessing the death of one of the top 10 most visited sites in the world, Reddit. But not for the reasons you might think. You see, from the 12th to the 14th of June 2023, an organized protest has taken over Reddit, and Reddit stopped. On June 12th alone, huge swaths of Reddit content went dark. 458 million Reddit posts, 5.7 billion comments, from 66 million authors with 102 billion total karma, which equates to 43% of the entire site. So that's why people who go on Reddit's front page just aren't seeing anything. Why?
Reddit communities are going dark tomorrow in protest of Reddit's new pricing policy.
Well, it all started when Reddit began charging for API access. From July 1st, Reddit plans to charge developers that require higher usage limits, 24 cents for every 1,000 API calls, or less than $1 per user every month.
Which I had no problem with, you know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't affect 99.99% of people that use Reddit.
Now, APIs are the only thing that allows third-party apps to exist on Reddit. I'm talking about third-party sites like Apollo.
Which all Reddit really wants is they want to make money basically off of the ad revenue from these third-party apps, which you can't currently, and they're trying to fix that, you know what I'm saying? So they're trying to get their money.
Which allows you to read several posts, comments, and other Reddit features into a separate interface. And these apps generally come free of Reddit ads and contain actually more features than Reddit.
Like he said, they're trying to make their money off of these fucking apps.
But now that Reddit is charging for API access, this will cost Apollo $20 million every year just to operate.
And as far as I know, I don't know if they're making, if Apollo, this app, Apollo, is actually making any money doing what they do currently.
So of course the creator of Apollo announced on Twitter that Apollo will officially close down on June 30th. But it's not just Apollo we're talking about here. Because of these insane prices, this basically means that all third-party apps and mod tools,
which I haven't used any of these. I don't know about any of you guys. I haven't used any of these apps personally.
will all effectively be shut down by July 1st, 2023. And it didn't stop there, as one of the biggest subreddits, Explained to Me Like I'm 5, described, quote, API access isn't just about making life easier for mods. It helps keep our community safe by providing important context about users, such as whether or not they have a history of posting rule-violating content or engaging in harmful behavior. On Explain Like I'm 5, we've used it to help identify accounts that spam ChatGPT-generated content that violates our rules. If we want to mod on our phones, third-party apps offer the most robust mod tools. Adding that, without moderators and their modding tools, who, quote, develop, nurture, and protect Reddit's diverse communities, Reddit now
That's a stretch.
risks losing what makes it so special.
Literally, for third-party websites, these pricing are designed for them to be killed out. They just want to cut you off completely. Third-party applications might just choose to die out if Reddit sticks to this hill. Which means that at the end of the day, your only experience will be with the actual Reddit app, and whether that's a good quality for you, it's not gonna matter. It's your only stopgap.
And so in response to all of this, Reddit's biggest subreddits came together in unity and went on strike, creating a Reddit blackout, where all of Reddit's biggest subreddits went private, with the mods shutting them down temporarily. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg here, because many are now predicting that this marks the beginning of the end for Reddit as an entire company. As you see, this Reddit blackout highlighted a huge weakness in Reddit that will eventually bring the site to its knees. One of the reasons being that Reddit is controlled not just by the CEO of Reddit and his team, but by Reddit mods themselves. And as laughable,
And that's the big issue. There's I don't want to give false numbers, but like 95% of Reddit is controlled by like 4 people, which is fucking insane to me. Like, get a fucking life.
as this may seem, Reddit is incredibly vulnerable unlike any other social media site, because 6 power-hungry moderators are now in control.
It was 6, my bad. But all those 6, just disgusting. Scum of the earth people. Like, people that need to go outside and touch grass.
Of 118 of the top 500 subreddits. And
Insane.
these are the people who determine what posts are allowed, what comments you can type, what posts are deleted, and what opinions flourish. Getting to the point now where mods are deleting 6% of all Reddit posts, with most of these deleted posts being things that go against the beliefs of mods, effectively granting these Reddit mods the control of information on the.
Is that what these guys look like? I don't doubt that. That's crazy. If that's what they actually look like, I doubt that, but I would not be surprised.
Platform. These are the people who truly control Reddit and what is said and what is censored on the platform. And because they control the community,
And it's just a bunch of like left-wing garbage, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't truly have your own opinion. Don't get me wrong, like obviously there's rule-breaking things, but if you don't follow like just the left-wing mantra, then you can't have your own opinion, which is so stupid to me.
They get to decide if the platform live or die.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm not right-wing, I'm not full left-wing. Like I have my own opinions about everything. Like some could be right-wing opinions and some could be left-wing opinions, but you gotta have everybody that can have their own opinion, know what I'm saying? It's, you can't just force out just one side, which is stupid to me.
Because if the community doesn't come back, then Reddit is done. Once you lose the users, you lose the site. So the true question here is, why is Reddit risking the entire site's future for this? Why didn't they just appease the Reddit mods' demands?
Because fuck the mods, know what I'm saying?
And why is Reddit suddenly going public, looking for investors? What's really going on behind the scenes here? And why is this going to destroy Reddit? Well, to understand all of this, we first need to understand how these Reddit mods became so powerful in the first place and how they ended up destroying Reddit. Well, ironically enough, this was the CEO of Reddit's plan from the beginning. Let me explain. You see,
A mad scientist.
since the beginning of Reddit's founding, Spez was in control. He was the co-owner of the site, and more importantly, the first moderator. This will become more important later in the video, but back in 2005, when Spez was Reddit's first moderator, he would create fake accounts to make the website appear active.
And I started submitting all the content just to keep the thing full, right? Because Reddit's no fun if the page is blank.
But deep down he knew that to scale Reddit into the site that it is today, moderating all this content by himself would be all too time consuming. And so he outsourced this duty to Reddit's biggest consumers. The people who would post the most, have the most karma, the most active people on the site were the perfect people for Spez. And this was a genius move that would propel Reddit to astronomical success, because he could use these people's passions, loneliness, and hunger for power as a source of free labor for the site. Instead of paying a
Which was smart. That started off as a very smart idea.
huge team of admins to moderate content, Reddit's most avid fans would do it for free, as long as they could feel some
I didn't even pay them. That's crazy. That's funny, but crazy.
sense of power for the first time in their life. So once Sped had a team of moderators and admins to follow his orders, running the internet for him turned out to be surprisingly easy. And as Reddit started to grow, the site merged with Infogamy, bringing Aaron Schwartz on board as a co-founder. Now for those who don't know, Aaron Schwartz was a firm believer in free speech, seeing the internet as a tool for free speech and holding governments and corporations
I'm assuming something happened to him because the free speech on Reddit is laughable.
accountable. He didn't want power mods controlling all of Reddit and silencing any opinions that they didn't like. However, Spez viewed the internet as a money-making machine. Morals aside, Reddit was just for money and power, nothing else. So after crying multiple times in the bathroom during his lunch breaks, and feeling like his knowledge was just being used for everything he hated, Aaron would eventually decide to leave Reddit, instead using his money and knowledge from Reddit to advocate for freedom and civil liberties online through the Demand Progress campaign. And in part of his mission to ensure free speech, he would download the whole Westlaw legal database in 2010 to uncover disturbing
Which sounds very illegal.
connections between legal research funders and the legal system itself. And because he was holding the government accountable, the FBI started investigating Aaron without his knowledge, all while he continued his campaign for a free
I'm pretty sure FBI starts investigating 99.9% of people without their knowledge. Know what I'm saying?
internet. But eventually the FBI caught up to Aaron, as he was arrested in 2013 and faced severe charges. And with the government aiming to make an example of him after the WikiLeaks leaks, Aaron faced a lengthy prison sentence, with Aaron ultimately ending his own life because of this.
Okay, yeah, I do remember this, and I felt really bad because all he wanted was knowledge. He went about it, obviously, the wrong way, but I remember watching a documentary about this guy, and I felt really bad, so may he rest in peace.
However, before we continue, I want to quickly tell you about something. Spez's actions were an embarrassment to Reddit, completely ruining the trust of Reddit users to give their data over to Reddit when its own CEO was meddling with the company's database. And this is why private internet access is one
Okay, I don't care. Alright, let's skip this. Let's skip this.
Click the link in the description below.
A co-founder of the social news and entertainment website Reddit has been found dead. Police say 26-year-old Aaron Schwartz killed himself yesterday in his Brooklyn apartment. Schwartz was facing a federal trial on computer fraud charges. He had pled not guilty.
Yeah,
And with his
rest in
passing,
peace.
Spez would be quick to remove any mention of Aaron Schwartz's involvement in creating Reddit, wiping away his history as a co-founder of Reddit, removing him from Reddit's history entirely.
What the fuck? Man, that's stupid.
And more importantly, destroying any last traces of free speech that Aaron had left within Reddit. It was the dawn of a new era, and the mods of Reddit would then be given free way to censor any content they like and also control how Reddit operated, including how Reddit users interacted with the site itself. Which is why over time, Reddit as a company would become more and more reliant on these free moderators, because as Reddit grew, it became more corporate and entrenched in Silicon Valley. And like any other Silicon Valley giant, Reddit would have to become more sanitized to stay at the top. And so by having moderators sanitize Reddit for free, Reddit was saving an incredible sum of money. I mean, in the same time, Facebook alone spent $13 billion in safety and security.
That's crazy how Facebook spent $13 billion and he got a bunch of losers and neckbeards to do it for free. Like, that's work smarter, not harder.
To the site, with 40,000 workers just focused on moderation in that year. And yet at the same time,
which is insane, because you can still see some wild shit on Facebook.
Reddit had all of this for free, and so Reddit's leadership needed to work well with the mods of the site as a symbiotic relationship to keep it running. And for a long time this worked perfectly for Reddit, like in 2014, when Reddit was put in the spotlight for accusations of sexism. Now of course this terrified Reddit's advertisers and made them pull out from the platform, as this was happening around the Me Too era, and it posed an existential threat to the entire site's existence. So to address this, Ellen Pao was eventually appointed as CEO in 2014, because Pao was known for her gender discrimination lawsuit in the big tech world and was seen as a symbol of feminism.
So basically she was just used for good publicity.
However, her tenure marked a shift towards increased censorship and control on Reddit, when Powell quite literally announced that Reddit was no longer a platform for free speech.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware.
And directly banned several subreddits. But she couldn't completely sanitize Reddit by herself, and this is when the moderators came in, enforcing all of her new policies. And in return, she gave the select few mods more and more power, and this is when mods like Galloboob emerged. Now
Fuck Galloboob, man.
Galloboob is a prominent power mod on Reddit, known for controlling major subreddits and blocking any comments that he doesn't like. And of course, he's accumulated a significant amount of karma. And this reflected a new era of Reddit, characterized by censorship and the suppression of dissenting opinions. Subreddits calling out such behavior have been banned, and users critical of the power structure in Reddit are threatened with banishment. Despite Reddit's moderator guidelines, which discouraged using one community's rules to ban users from another, power mods like Galloboob consistently ban people from all of the subreddits, perpetuating a pattern of silencing opposing views to the moderator.
Which is funny. A lot of the subreddits he moderates, I'm no longer a part of because they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes there's some cool posts every once in a while, but a lot of it, I would say 90% of it is just garbage. And it's not his fault, but he's got that influence over it to where I am not interested in participating in a lot of those subreddits.
Because of this, over time, people started to realize that these moderators weren't really the selfless internet volunteers that everyone thought they were, as a lot of them were actually doing this for money. Like when Galloboob supposedly promoted
his friend's marketing. Interesting. And of course it's got removed. Interesting.
his friend's marketing company, all while he was caught lying, as in reality, this was just a random promotion with a big payoff.
I mean, I do the same thing. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that shit for free, so like, get your money, but still fuck Galloboob.
For him, because companies see Reddit mods like Galloboob as the frontline soldiers for internet strategist companies. In fact, the Galloboobs of Reddit are like the Cambridge Analytica for corporations. They have influence over millions and unrivaled power on the website, the trade-off being that they do the dirty work for Reddit admins, and in return, Reddit turns a blind eye to their profiteering from advertising products. And it's this symbiotic relationship between Reddit mods and Reddit's leadership that has made Reddit one of the most successful sites on the internet. But then more power mods started to emerge. Mods like Awkward the Turtle, who's in control of 2,572 subreddits.
That's in-fucking sane, bro.
And like Galloboob, he's a mod notorious for silencing opinions he doesn't like this guy who was banned for having a different opinion about the police than him. And Awkward the Turtle's response to this was to shut him up and make him accept as a punishment. And also like Galloboob, he would profit from his position controlling all of the major subreddits on Reddit. I mean, just think of the influence of having control of 2,000.
Black people Twitter when I guarantee this person's not black.
572 sub.
But then again, a lot of the people that post in black people or most black subreddits are white kids, so it's interesting.
Reddit. And of course there are numerous other power mods in Reddit, and they all have real skin in the game on their subreddits being successful, as they gain more power and more profit from all of this. The more Reddit grows, and in particular the subreddits grow, the more this benefits them. And this isn't really a surprise. I mean, knowing everything about Spez, this egregious money-hungry censoring behavior runs down from the top, permeating from Reddit CEOs censoring moderator behavior, like the time that Spez infamously went into Reddit's database to alter and change comments that he didn't like to distort the posts in the r/Donald subreddit. And of course those in the Donald really didn't take too kindly to the move, with the Donald calling out Spez's direct censorship and manipulation of speech, even going so far as to create a subreddit dedicated to criticizing Spez. And to Spez, this was outrageous. How dare users enact their revenge? And so,
how dare people talk freely on a free speech platform that's not really free speech?
Once again, Spez used his position as CEO to modify comments attacking him, changing these comments.
Like I said, you gotta be like just left-wing garbage, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I didn't vote for Trump, but at the same time, people should be allowed to say what they want to say.
to instead criticize R. Donald mods rather than himself, sowing the first division within Reddit between moderators and Reddit leadership. However, at the time, this division wasn't really a big deal, and Reddit's growth was going fine up until now, where Reddit is in the situation it is today. So the question is, what does all of this have to do with Reddit going dark and the company teetering on the verge of a crisis? Well, with the continued success of Reddit has come a deep power struggle within the Reddit community, because today in 2023, Reddit is following Spez's leadership to keep expanding Reddit, which on paper seems great, and it's not really a surprise considering Reddit is one of the most visited sites on the internet. Of course they want to grow. Reddit has to cut costs, go public, gain more investments, and look for as many avenues to make money as possible according to Spez. And in particular, Reddit's leadership and future shareholders want to maximize the site's infrastructure's profitability, controlling all of their proprietary data that is a huge source of potential revenue for the company. Hence why they want to charge a huge amount for third parties' access to API data. And this is where the real problem today with Reddit is. And it's this issue that is going to destroy Reddit from within, causing another fall from grace like Tumblr. Because the other half of Reddit's leadership, the mods running all of the subreddits, have their own ambitions for Reddit. They want to keep the status quo in check, and don't want to lose any control of the power that they now have.
Which again doesn't affect 99.9% of the users on Reddit.
Creating a deepening rift within Reddit's leadership, and ruining the symbiotic relationship between mods and Reddit's leadership. And the pressure is mounting.
Is this guy a mod? He keeps showing this dude's face. Is this guy an actual mod, or is he just some generic neckbeard that he's just trying to show in this video, I guess, to symbolize mods?
And there is no way on earth that its future shareholders will allow Reddit to give AI-powered chatbots access to all of Reddit's API data.
There are a lot of third-party Reddit apps out there, very popular ones, in fact, that just kind of suck up the data from Reddit and put it out on their own app. There used to be Twitter apps like this too.
Exactly.
And because of this change, those apps are going to have to start paying for access to that data.
In April, as AI-powered chatbots soared in popularity, Reddit realized it had to change its API accessibility. As Engadget senior editor Carissa Bell said, a lot of these companies have been training using Reddit's data because it was open and because the APIs were readily accessible. So at the time, Reddit said, hey, we are not going to be allowing these big companies, which are extremely profitable.
You get paid for using our stuff. I don't see anything wrong with that.
To access all of our data for free.
Reddit didn't have its own official mobile app. Lots of third-party app developers introduced apps where people can browse Reddit on their phones. But recently, Reddit said, you know what? We should start charging those third-party app developers for access to our data.
And so it's clear that appeasing the Reddit mods running the site in the trenches isn't really Reddit leadership's top priority here. And certainly once Reddit CEO Spez gives up more control, the success of Reddit will be in appeasing their shareholders, inevitably changing the policies of Reddit, as they overlook the satisfaction of their users in favor of their profitability as a publicly traded company. And so the only way Reddit mods, who they themselves feel like they are the ones Reddit should be beholden to, are now fighting back in the only way they know how: site-wide censorship.
More than 6,000 communities on the popular social network.
Which was dumb, because they're like, oh, we're only doing this for 2 days. Like, bro, if someone's like, we're going on strike for 2 days, I'll be like, all right, see you on fucking Wednesday.
Forum Reddit have gone dark.
And Reddit is dead. Today's the day those Reddit moderators go have to step outside.
And a blackout does seem like the perfect protest, right? I mean, it did work in 2015. On July 2nd, Reddit began experiencing a series of blackouts as moderators set popular subreddit communities to private, in an event dubbed Armageddon.
Reddit admins are in damage control mode after several popular subreddits shut down temporarily last week.
This was done in protest of the recent firing of Victoria Taylor, an administrator
Never heard of her, so I would assume she stayed fired.
who helped organize citizen-led interviews with famous people on the popular Ask Me Anything subreddit. Organizers of the blackouts also expressed resentment about the recent severance of the communication between Reddit and the moderators of the subreddits. And this ended up being highly successful and was actually one of the reasons why Ellen Powell stepped down as CEO. However, the problem with the recent blackouts is that this just probably won't work. At best, it will probably force a minor concession out of Reddit, and there's a few reasons why. The reason the 2015 blackout worked was because its goal wasn't too hard for Reddit to stomach: the removal of a figurehead and no real lasting changes. However, this time, the protest threatens Reddit's bottom line directly, something which they won't budge on easily, especially as they go public. And also, this protest is only 2 days. The Reddit moderators literally said,
which is what I was saying, it was only 2 days, like, bro. Okay.
They're gonna end on June 14th. Instead of being indefinite, they're already telling Reddit's leadership that it will end very soon. All Reddit has to do is fasten their seatbelts and just wait for it to end.
When it comes to an indefinite protest, and I hate this 48-hour protest bullshit, if you protest for 48 hours, if you literally give an end date, that's like saying, I'm gonna participate in a hunger strike until I get hungry.
For real.
And despite all the headlines you see online, lots of popular subs still aren't actually participating at all. Are all? The de facto front page of Reddit looks almost unchanged. The same general posts have just become popular in different subreddits. Are all?
By the way, if you are a mod that did not participate in this blackout, you are based as hell. Like the college football mods, y'all fucking rock.
All might be on strike, but our tippy taps and our dog are still up, and they're functionally the same, and so they can easily fill the gap left by these protests. That's why the CEO Spares has actually told Reddit employees that he isn't worried about the protests and the blackout of the site, claiming that the blackout hadn't had any, quote, significant revenue impact. Also claiming, quote, Reddit employees shouldn't be wearing Reddit items in public because the API change will make Reddit employees the object of users' frustration, making it clear that this protest has done little to bother him at all. He doesn't care about the blackout nor the moderator's concerns one bit. However, as one Twitter user described, quote, I have no idea if the Reddit blackout will work, but god is it depressing to see one after another how Reddit, Tumblr, Discord, and even this asshole all implode because having a halfway decent space to exist online is just fundamentally incompatible with corporate profit motive.
Which I can understand. Discord still works just fine, so I don't know. And all Tumblr did was get rid of porn, so fucking... If porn controls your life that bad, you're a loser. Straight up.
And it's this sentiment that will eventually take down Reddit, because while this blackout may seem to be weak in doing any damage to Reddit, this really couldn't be any further from the truth, because the strike itself isn't the problem. The problem that this has highlighted is the powerlessness Reddit leadership has in actually controlling Reddit as a site.
Oh no, my fucking theoretical fake job makes me powerless in real life and in Reddit too, so man, you're just a loser. Like, straight up, if you're that power hungry, you need to look inward, in my opinion.
Because of this, the moderators of Reddit, the people that have been given the power to control the flow of information, and thus the control of Reddit users, has made it clear that they won't be following Reddit leadership. And that's why countless users are already transitioning to Twitter instead of Reddit. And if a lot of people are willing to protest en masse against Reddit, then it shows that Reddit actually has little autonomy to make changes in the platform.
Twitter's getting just as bad, but that's for another video if somebody ever makes it.
Platform, thus reducing its ability to attract a sizable amount of investors in the first place, completely ruining Reddit's plans of going public, all while destroying the platform user base. And it's this fundamental rift in Reddit leadership that will cause the site to inevitably fall, as Reddit's only going to get more homogenous, sterile, and just worse for the average user. Just like Tumblr, appeasing their corporate overlords will slowly kill the site until it's a husk of what it once was, as Reddit will become even more of a sanitized corporate wasteland than it already is, and eventually people will realize and leave. The first exodus will come in July, when the last third-party apps die out, and as more real people leave, the more Reddit will need to squeeze more money out of the platform in order to survive, shoving more ads, making the experience worse, giving you more censorship, more control, and thus driving even more people out of the site at the same time. And it seems like what happened to Tumblr will happen to Reddit as well.
Okay, good video by Moon always. If ads become too unbearable on my phone, then I'll just use the website. You know what I'm saying? Like, ad block exists for a reason. Before we go on to the aftermath of this protest, let's read some comments. Imagine how amazing Reddit would have been if Aaron Swartz was still alive and in charge. Spez is a clown. I agree with that. Spez is a clown. He says some base things, but for the most part, Spez is a clown. Glad to see Aaron Swartz has been forgotten. Yes, rest in peace. A genius who has a brilliant mind and a good moral compass. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. It's Joan. You're a girl. Reddit shutdown is proving how terrible search websites like Google, Yahoo truly are. Every time I search for something, Reddit was always at the top of the search with the answers I seeked. Meanwhile, every other selection was basically useless, pointless information. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Reddit is very important to a lot of people. You know, you can get a lot of good information off of Reddit. You tried Reddit once. My posts got picked over by mods. It was just a non-offense general post about Ghost, and then I found that I couldn't engage with users without karma. The level of snobbery and this post-power totalitarian-like behavior was disgraceful. Fuck Reddit. Based. No, I agree with you. But so this is the comment that r/NFL said. Not comment. I post that r/NFL said. We're just here so we don't get fined, which is a joke. I'm Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. The sub is back open. This place, this is the place to your voice, to voice your admiration. Dash scorn. I'm sorry, I can't speak. I have my Invisalign in, so whenever that happens, I just fucking cannot speak for some reason. So I apologize. As always, taking over unrelated posts is not allowed. Okay. Mods really don't want to lose their shitty ass job, and the guy goes job in quotations. Can't be a job when they do it for free. The online equivalent to being a homeowners association. So people are just roasting these mods, rightfully so. We're protesting. You're being fired/replaced. We're back. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So Spez, being based, was like, yo, so if you guys don't open up this fucking sub, I'm replacing all you bitch ass niggas. So everyone just that's the mods start coming back, because Spez was like, yo, I'm not dealing with you guys. You guys are easily replaceable, which they are. You know, they are very, very replaceable. And now all these Reddit mods are like, oh no, I want to come back. Oh. So it's nice to see people are replacing these mods. Damn, I was really hoping for you guys being replaced with people without a Twitter fetish. Yes, because in the r/NFL community, 98% of the posts are just Twitter posts, which are stupid to me and low effort. But I get you. I was hoping they replaced people that didn't use the sub to farm their own comment by deleting other people's posts and reposting them. Yes, that is another issue with r/NFL. Whenever there's major news, the mods will post them themselves, which is incredibly stupid. If you post it first, you should get your post pinned. Know what I'm saying? Like when Tom Brady retired, some fucking mod deleted the person who originally posted it first and then posted it for himself, and it's interesting, you know. So this entire thread is just roasting the mods, which gratefully they deserved. We did it, Reddit, exactly. Their protest was incredibly useless. And for r/NBA, when they opened up, who here is in favor of just replacing these shit mods if given the opportunity to do so? What were these fraudulent keyboard warriors thinking, closing down this forum in the most important series of the season, which was when the Nuggets and the Heat played against each other? So the championship game, they closed down the sub. But get this. Not only did they close down the sub, but they had their own fucking game thread to continue talking while basically millions of users for the millions of followers of this subreddit, r/NBA, were locked out. And people found the subreddit, know what I'm saying? And after they found the subreddit, people were like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And that's insane to me. So not only do you lock a bunch of users out, but you continue using Reddit. It's like rules for thee, not for me type of situation. So that was, when people found that out, they were just roasting the mods, and it's interesting. And I do hope that mods are being replaced. It has already happened in a couple of subreddits. I couldn't find the exact post. I'll see if I can go back and look at it. But it's already starting to happen, and I'm hoping r/NBA is one of them. The NFL mods, they're all right, but the NBA mods, man, fuck them. All right, it took a hot minute, but I found it. The entire r/mildly interesting mod team has been removed without any communication. Some of us locked out of our accounts. Posting this from an alt because I'm still locked out of my account. About an hour ago, we went ahead with the changes on r/mildly interesting following overwhelming support from our community. The idea was to go public again, but designate the subreddit as NSFU with a bigger focus on suggestive-looking fruits and what's not. That's stupid. Okay. I was praying for the sub to go live, but just after I switched to NSFU, not safe for work, I was logged out of your account on every single platform and was logged out. I can successfully reset my password, but will nevertheless not let me log in again. Following this, another mod posted our update instead. Right after the mod code of conduct account removed the post and flipped the sub back to restricted instead of public. Then the second moderator was logged out of their account and locked out, I'm sorry. Other mods tried to reapprove the post. One of them was promptly logged out and locked out as well. I'm fucking loving this, man. A few minutes later, the entire team was removed from the subreddit without any prior communication of any kind. As it stands, at least 3 of us were literally locked out of our own Reddit accounts, and the other mods were only removed from the sub. Interesting. I honestly don't have any words for the situation right now. No communication, no attempt to seriously answer any of our questions. We asked in mod mail, but we're still going in, removing our posts, literally locking us out of our accounts, removing the entire moderation team, and entirely ignoring the 40,000 people who voted either to take the sub back private or open it with new rules. The only thing I can say is that I'm incredibly disappointed and disheartened that the Reddit admins believe that this is the correct way to act. I believe this is the correct way to act. Like, good for them. Whoever is in charge of that, good for you. Keep doing that shit. The entire mod team received a 7-day suspension. You still cannot log into your account. Okay, well then, fucking serve your time and enjoy not having power, you fucking loser. Admins seem to be saying this was done to prevent subs from spamming sexually explicit content. r/mildly interesting. We did not do this nor intend to do this, as clear in the update that the admins manually have removed. To be clear, this does not mean we're allowing pornographic, like sexually explicit or illegal content. Our existing rules will still apply. We are simply embracing our proud history of user-curated lewd fruit and vegetable content. What? What is the point of going private then? Or going NSFU then? That's not interesting. That's just garbage. That's smut. The history includes, but not limited to, photos of oddly shaped produce and landscape features reminiscent of genitalia. That's not oddly interesting. That's smut, like I said. Or other quirky sites that might cause one to raise an eyebrow. I'm not going to click that just because of, YouTube. The entire r/mildly interesting team has been unsuspended and reinstated. Oh, that's lame. Oh, well, I guess they're back. r/thanks I hate it is showing up as unmoderated now. Thanks I hate it. No, thanks I love it. Well, that's pretty cool. The admins in charge of demodded subreddits are master moving images of Huffman previously shared on them. It'd be great if someone could post this about on r/mod support. I've thrice attempted to do so from this and from an alt account, and all my posts have been immediately removed. I previously shared here on my last post to r/interesting as fuck. Coincidentally, also the last post allowed to be posted 4 minutes before the community modded and archived the MTG style as that Magic the Gathering style card with the image of Spez on it and the text "Better Call Spez." Okay, so they're just slandering Spez, which if you support free speech, which Reddit clearly doesn't, if you're not a left-wing fucking shill, then you would be allowed to post that, which is they're getting a taste of their own medicine, in my opinion. The post stayed up for the next 10 hours until today. An hour ago, it was inexplicably removed with no communication or message from anyone. Given that interesting as fuck is still suspended, I find it likely they're behind this. I checked my saved posts where I had 3 different memes, 2 from interesting as fuck and 1 from thanks I hate it, which is also an archived demodded community featuring Huffman's photo. All three posts I hate the bozo, Huffman, and interesting how fat you are, which is interesting because I know a lot of Reddit mods are not something to be proud of to look at. Know what I'm saying? No longer showed up there, and neither did they appear when I searched for their titles in the archive communities. So this is what the admins in charge of these subs spend their time doing. While they keep the mods and users out, they clean out the sub of any images mocking their boss. Well done. Well, it's his website, so. Admins are manually removing comments to say F-Spez, tested here and in r/facepalm as of 10 minutes ago. Apart from being self-removed, the post being permanently deleted on account of violation of Reddit's content policy, that 10 hours ago after being initially removed. That's 10 hours after being initially removed. As of now, there's no more posts featuring Spez's face anywhere. An r/interesting as fuck. Edit number 4. This is ridiculous. I'm getting notifications on every comment here. I promise you, I've counted more than 15 FU Spez comments being removed. Here are some. Notice that you can't see them on this thread. Here's more. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so garbage. Trying to silence internet has definitely worked in the past. Like I said, Spez is controlling these mods that think they are worth a damn in Reddit. So I'm fully for it. Like, if you try to fuck around and try to control something you have no control over, then you are going to find out, and that is what's happening.